Don't you hate those videos that make you wait the whole time just to get to the point of the video? Well, this isn't one of them. We're just going to cut to the chase here. Alright, lesson learned number 1 on the first trip. I was planning at some point on getting airbags or timbrins to help with a 4Runner that's basically towing its whole towing capacity. And I really overloaded it this time, like real bad. So as I'm going down the road, all of my weight was off my front wheels and I was getting real bad shimmy when anybody would pass me. So ditched off the road really fast, popped over to OReillys, and the guy actually helped me out. He said he drives trailers all the time and uses a load leveling hitch from Harbor Freight. So we picked one of those up, came back, he hooked us up with all the sockets that you need to put it together, and we were back on the road. This thing worked perfectly. It did exactly what I would expect it to do. Same thing you would get out of airbags or timbrins, honestly. It put weight back on the front, reduced that shimmy, gave me more clearance in the back too, because I was getting real bad sag right on the hitch. So I can't recommend that thing more. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. I'm in love with it, and it was only like $300, so great. All right. Because of all the problems we had, we ended up driving at night, not on purpose, but you know, it ended up being a blessing in disguise because I had to go through Houston, and if you ever been there, their roads are laid out like a bowl of spaghetti. They got on-ramps and off-ramps every 3 feet, and I would have been completely lost pulling a trailer through there during the day with all the traffic. So we came through there at about 3:30 in the morning, and there was nobody on the roads. That made my life a whole lot easier. If I ever have a tough drive in the future, I think I'm just going to do it at night. All right. There you go. Backup trailer lights. Ended up buying those at OReillys because my whole lighting system tried to catch the trailer on fire. So I'm going to bring those in the future anyway. And I ended up going through almost a whole roll of duct tape, taping up those trailer lights and taping up fan lids and other type things. As I was going down the road, those vent fan lids, they just try to work themselves open. So I'm going to just tape them down before driving anywhere now. And very last thing, brakes are important. I knew that. You knew that. I got new brakes right before I left, and they felt like they were damn near halfway gone by the time I got where I was going. So I'll be putting brakes on the trailer in the future, but, you know, if you thought that it was, like, kind of important, like brakes are important, like, I think they're very important. Well, that's all I got. If you want to watch the video now, that's kind of on you. So we found what could be at least one of the culprits of our short here, and it looks like this positive wire running out to one of my position lights outside, running through the frame here. It looks like the jagged edge of it ripped the insulation off the wire, causing it to ground out, and that could be, I hope that's the only thing we find, but at least I think that would cause a short. So, happy to find that at least. So, yeah, we looked around the rest of the trailer, got all the wires exposed where they were going from the inside to the outside, and we didn't find any other wires that were torn up like this guy right here. Went ahead and got this guy taped up, and then used the ohm meter, checked to see that the wire was still good, and it's fine. So I think we might have found our problem with our short. So well, right now I have the thrilling task of sitting by my 4-pin connector wire and waiting to see if it gets real hot after fixing what I think was my only short yesterday. So while on the road, after about an hour, the wire burned up on me. So today I'm just sitting out here for about an hour, waiting to see if anything's gonna melt on me today. I've been walking around the trailer and testing the other wires to see if they're gonna try to catch fire on me, but so far everything's cold, and I think that might have been the fix it needed. And I think later I will drive it around just to see if, as things bounce and flex, if that ends up shorting something out too. So far I think we got it fixed. Just drove the caboose around and there were no more problems. I'm just really feeling happy that it was like that first wire that we found. I was expecting this to be like a days or weeks long thing where I'd end up redoing all the electrical and it was going to be a nightmare, but I mean, knock on wood, I think it's fixed. Oh yeah, now I can go ahead and finally tape off, what do you call, all these spots between the insulation like I should have done the very first time before I put the walls on. So I just finished siliconing all of these edges in the walls and the floor. Point of that is the back side of this Luan material is super terrible when it gets wet. It'll just puff up and disintegrate. So I'm doing my best to just keep water from getting to it. So I'm painting everything, priming it, painting it, and sealing all these edges to keep it from getting to the back side. I'm leaving the bottom edge open there, as if water does get back there, I'm leaving it open so it has a way of escaping. And then all of the silicone looks terrible. That's because it doesn't matter, it's not going to show. Every one of these seams is going to get covered up by some other type of finish by the end of the project. So I'm not really worried about it being smeared all around and looking like hell. And yes, it's paintable silicone. The only thing I'm unhappy about is the fact that my camera can't truly capture how awesome this color is. It looks really gray on the phone, but it's actually more of like a light blue color underneath that gray. But so this is the first coat on here. I did a thin coat just like I did with the primers. So I'm gonna sand it with 220 grit sandpaper using a orbital sander for the walls, and for the curves here I'm just gonna use a sanding block. And I'll do a second coat, call it a day on that, so I can put up my trim pieces back again, put together gas struts again, and then I've got a little bit of work to do on this concession window, and I'll be content for moving on to the inside of the trailer. Few repairs after the trip. I put this in and out so many times it actually just stripped out that C-channel there, so I got a bracket to put some stress on places other than these two here. And then the weirdest thing that happened on the trip was actually to this concession window, and that's a fix right there, $5 from Harbor Freight. It's a horizontal toggle clamp. After I got where I was going, slightly the concession window actually buckled out a little bit. You could see light coming in from right through here. I think just the wind and everything caused a lower pressure, because it was faster moving wind on the outside than the slower moving wind on the inside. So lower pressure on the outside pulled it out a little bit, is my working theory. I don't know. This fixed it. Done. And actually one more quick fix. At some point, I don't know what's causing this, but I've heard of other people having the same problem. This door is raking this way, twisting. And then it was contacting a bunch on this bottom here. You can see where it's all scratched up, but it was getting stuck there. So I've just persuaded this down a little bit with my hammer, and it doesn't rub anymore, so that works.